commodities mistress or the commodity queen. We have Demola Global, the king of US stocks. So if you want to know what is going on in US indices, you can reach out to him. And as usual, I also have Cynthia Billions right here with me. No, not right here, on the left-hand side, not on the right-hand side. Okay, so we're going to be running you through without wasting much time. Now, looking at the dollar index, there was a point of interest. There's a point of interest we have on the dollar index, and it has not been tapped or it has not been reached in the past couple of days. All right, looking at the daily time frame of the dollar index already, as it's a new week, it's going to be good that we look at the weekly time frame briefly before we go down to the daily time frame. And one more thing before we go forward, I greet every one of you who is right here on this live call. I greet you, bros. Mr. Alex, Biola, Daniel, George, Isaac, everyone who is here, I greet you, bros. So back to the chart. On the weekly time frame of the dollar index, we've seen that the dollar index has broken structure like we've all been saying in the past months, and we're expecting this pullback to continue to the upside. The dollar index is showing us signs in the past couple of weeks that it is willing to continue buying further upwards from this place. So in the past 4 weeks, we've seen momentum resuming to the upside. So we've seen the dollar rally on the dollar index in the past 4 weeks. Okay, now looking at the daily time frame, what do we expect to see? We want to see continuous break of structure to the upside. Okay, so this continuous break of structure to the upside is going to allow us to ride this rally of the dollar to the upside. Now, looking at what the dollar index is doing, it broke violently out of a very strong resistance, and we've marked that strong resistance. We also found out that the dollar index is having a confluence on that resistance. And what is the confluence? We're having a volume imbalance. Volume imbalance is this gap between two candles when they are not aligning with one another, the close of one candle and the open of the next candle immediately after. So we want to see the dollar index trade into that volume imbalance alongside retesting that resistance and then continue going upwards. Hence, the sell-off of the dollar index. So this sell is not actually a resumption of the trend. It's looking like it's a retest of this level. So for the dollar index to make that retest to that level, we may see other foreign currencies like the GBP USD, AUD USD, Euro USD, and the likes going upwards. Okay, so they may continue in their bullish trend until the dollar index is done making this retracement. All right, and to see that, when we look at the foreign currencies, we'll see that they are all aligning with this interest of the dollar index to retrace to the previous retracement. I hope that is clear. Now we can also look at the 4-hour time frame. You can see that on the 4-hour time frame, the dollar index is looking like it wants to break structure to the downside. All right, it has given us a lower high based on your normal trend analysis. Lower highs, lower lows for downtrend, higher highs, higher lows for uptrend. Now looking at this lower high, the next thing we want to see is a lower low, all right, to the downside. All these movements, this looks like the imminent target, all right. Once it's making all this movement, it looks like it's going to this target. I hope that is clear. Now, going to the 1-hour time frame for us to do our intraday analysis. On the 1-hour time frame, price has clearly broken this low. So for the first part of this week, we're going to be looking to short the dollar all the way to this place. All right, we already know where the dollar is and we know where it's going to, so that keeps us in the safe zone. So we would want to short the US dollar all the way to this place. So when we say we're shorting the US dollar, currencies like the yen, USD CHF will be looking to go short on them, and currencies like Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD will be looking to go long on them. Okay, so we'll be looking at other foreign currencies to see if they align with this analysis we've done on the dollar index. So once again, the dollar index, we are looking at selling it or going short on the dollar index all the way to this volume imbalance and previous resistance point. Okay, so let's look at the euro USD as we proceed. Looking at the euro USD already, we've established that on the weekly time frame, we are clearly bearish. Okay, so this is a little clustered. Let me decluster it so that we would see our charts clearly. There are so many things on this chart at the same time. Okay, take this off and take this off. Okay, so looking at the weekly time frame of the euro USD, based off this last major swing, we've seen that price has broken this low. All these buys, like we've been saying, is only but a retracement to the downside. Price has gotten to enough premium level to start shorting the euro USD from. All right, so I'll be willing to go short on the euro USD once everything aligns. What are the things that are going to align? We'll look for that in the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, clearly price has broken structure to the downside. Okay, price has broken structure to the downside. The first BOS, this is the second BOS right here, around 1.07198. As price has broken the first BOS, we'll be looking to continue this ride to the downside. Currently, price is trading off a daily fair value gap on euro USD. So we expect some retracement from that level before price gathers momentum and trades downward to break the last BOS. Okay, so as price is gathering momentum, we're going to be looking for point of interest on the upside so that we'll start selling euro USD from those levels. Okay, now to look for those points of interest, we have to look at the 1 hour time frame. Sorry, not the 1 hour now, the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so there's a fair value gap on the 4 hour time frame above this level. All right, this is on the 4 hour time frame. This fair value gap may attract price higher if the euro USD continues to gather momentum to the upside. All right, and to do this, it has to align with the dollar index. Else, the euro USD may trade independently of the dollar index because the euro USD has given us all that we need to see to go short. All right, you can also see that unlike the dollar index, the euro USD is not able to break and close above this high. It only wicked above it and started selling off. Okay, so it's not looking like it's interested in making that up move to align with the dollar index, which is making the move to the downside. So the euro USD may not do the corresponding movement of the dollar index. All right, so we need to be careful. Now let's look at the 1 hour time frame to also gain more perspective. Now on the 1 hour time frame, the next structural break is quite far. Currently, the euro USD is trading off this order block right here. Okay, so this order block right here, or some people will call it the supply zone, right here, this shaded level, the euro USD is currently trading off it. So if we start seeing clear sell signatures from this level, we'll be willing to go short on the euro USD as against the analysis we did on the dollar index. But today is Monday, we need to be very careful. All right, now we also want to mark structure highs and structure lows on the 1 hour time frame of the euro USD, and that is very far, very far. I mean, it's around 1.08659. That is the next structure low that we'll be looking to break on euro USD. That is very far. So we will be taking quick sell scalp on euro USD, 10, 20, 30 pips, and we're out of the market. Max 30 pips. All right. So if I see sell signatures from where euro USD currently is, I'll take a shot and possibly target 30 pips, and then watch what it's going to do around this area. If it looks like it's breaking this zone to the downside, then I'll re-enter after a retracement. But if not, then I'll be looking to buy euro USD after that sell. I'll be looking to buy euro USD all the way to this upper region here. Okay, this upper region, which is around 78.6 fib level of the daily swing. All right. So once again, I'm looking to take a short scalp on Euro USD. And if it doesn't break this low, all right, remember we are always analyzing in probabilities. If price doesn't break this low and it starts printing buy signatures, I'll be willing to buy Euro USD all the way to this high. Okay, so starting from where it is, I'm looking for a quick sell scalp, and then I'll buy if I see what I'm looking for. Now to the Great British Pound against the dollar. Same thing on the weekly time frame. We are clearly bearish. All right, we are always buying the retracement. All right, so that's very clear on the weekly time frame. Okay. Now on the daily time frame, for us to look for what we're going to gain off the analysis for our intraday trading. Looking at the daily time frame, GBP USD seems to be in a cluster. It looks like it's in a range and it's afraid of breaking away from that range. It does not gather enough momentum like the dollar index did to break out of its own range. So we'll be watching the GBP USD closely. We've been taking quick scalps since last week. All right, last week we had about 3 trade calls for short sales on GBP USD. The target was 20-30 pips. And some people took the trade and some just watched it play out. All right. So for us here, we took the sell scalps of GBP USD while it's in this range. We sold shortly and then we just targeting maximum was around 35 pips that we got in a day. All right. So for this week, we'll be waiting on GBP USD to break out of this range. On the daily time frame, it has not shown us clear direction. One of the reasons why I want to see clear direction on the daily time frame is that 24 hours is 24 hours anywhere, everywhere. All right. Unlike 4 hours, some brokers 4 hours will start at maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. Some others will start at 9 a.m. All right. So the 4 hours candle will differ. So I would like to see very clearly what happens on the daily time frame before relating it to the 4-hour time frame. Okay. So on the daily time frame, GBP USD, it's in a range. We want to see it break out of that range before we now decide on a long-term direction for GBP USD. Okay, so let's look at the 4-hour time frame quickly. Now, the 4-hour time frame, we were kind of clear on our direction, but price kept struggling to break lows. Instead, it was breaking highs. So it shows clearly that the GBP USD still wants to trade a little higher before going low. So one of the places that I think GBP USD may be trading to is taking out this high right here. Okay, so you can mark that on your chart. GBP USD may be trading higher to take out this high. All right, maybe one more liquidity grab before it starts selling massively to the downside. So I'll be looking at GBP USD, seeing that it has printed buy structure. You can see the structure to the upside. It's printing buy structures continuously. So we'll be willing to go long on GBP USD. You can see that all these analyses are on different currency pairs and different benchmark currencies. They look like they are not correlating. So it's at this point that we begin to become more careful in our analysis. We use tighter stop loss, we take less trades, and we target as little as possible, okay, until all of them start to align. Then we'll be looking for more profits in the market. Until then, what we are expecting on GBP USD? GBP USD on the 4-hour time frame is clearly bullish. All right, it's trading, it's retracing to the upside. Look at the last swing, the swing high and swing low. Price has not done anything to any of them. So we'll be looking to follow the current 4-hour trend. The current 4-hour trend, it's a sell and it's currently retracing. So we may continue buying that retracement until it's done retracing. Now, interestingly, I saw this liquidity point right here. GBP USD may want to grab this liquidity one more time right here before it starts selling. So I'll be looking for good sales of GBP USD. To do that, we'll look at the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so looking at the 1-hour time frame, seeing that we are clearly bullish on this time frame on the 1 hour, we'll be looking for potential buys of GBP USD all the way up here to grab all this liquidity residing above here. Okay, so GBP USD looks like the one that is going to align with the dollar index, because the dollar index has a point of interest to the downside GBP also has a point of interest to the upside. So that is good correlation, and we'll be wanting to take that trade. So the trade call for today on GBP is a possible long to the upside, because for GBP for us to now say that GBP is realigning with its higher time frame trend, we need to see it break this low. Okay, let me take out this other line here. So we need to see GBP break this low right here. Let me call out the price now. 1.26619. 1.26619. Until GBP breaks that low, we'll be looking to go long on it. All right. So as the dollar index is trading to that point of interest to the downside, we'll be looking to go long on GBP to take out the point of interest on the upside, which is this liquidity residing right above here. Okay. So when I see entry signatures on GBP for today, the 22nd of January, I'll be going long on GBP All right. So I hope that is very clear to you. So with this analysis, we urge you to trade cautiously and still sit tight for a few more minutes as we look at the precious metals using gold as a benchmark, and then the yen basket to analyze yen related pairs. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my God. Good morning. Good morning, sir. All right, today on the gold pair, we are going to see, let's look at it on the daily time frame. Yeah, on the daily time frame, if we look clearly at the precious metal this morning, we are going to see that it's still maintaining its bullish structure. Yes, still maintaining its bullish structure. However, we can see clearly where price is now. Price already broke this low here to the downside, and we can see price, retracing to the upside too. From the email sent out this weekend, we see clearly that we are expecting price to retrace a little bit more. Yes, price already entered into this fair value gap, but with this other block on 1 hour, then we can easily short it to the downside a bit before it resumes its bullish trend. All right. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame for gold, 4-hour time frame still confirms the bearish move to the downside. We are seeing a bearish move to the downside, which was what we were looking out for last week on the chart. Can we see that now? Is what we're looking out for last week on the chart, and we can see clearly what is really going on. And there's still high tendency for price to still sell again all the way to this zone. There's an order block here somewhere around this place. So going forward this week, we are expecting first a little buy on gold, then we resume to sell it down to this zone here. This last order block here is where we still expect price may short to that level before it resume the bullish trend, clearly, before it resume that clearly. Now, if you look at it, let's see if we are going to see our entry signatures on the 1-hour time frame. Now, on the 1-hour time frame, all we are still seeing is still a bullish move. However, we want to see price. If price breaks this level, price, is reacting somewhere around this level. If it breaks it to the downside and pull back again, we can easily short gold to the downside. Now, if you look at this piece, this is looking more like a sweep of this eye here, and we have the fair value gap there. So gold may rally all the way into this level here and
still sell again to the downside. You get. Now, if you come, let's check our 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, we've not seen a clean entry for a sell. However, if you look at what is going on here right now, we've seen a clear break to the downside, and today at the Asian session, during the Asian session, you can see it came again to more like this level here, which is the shoulder or the left side, for it to sell to the downside, and that is that move to the downside. So going forward this week, all we want to see on gold, what we are anticipating on gold is first a little push to the upside, which is a rally to the upside on the higher time frame. Then we resume the sell to the downside, which is on the 4-hour time frame. If we look at that clearly on the 4-hour time frame, which is still a bearish trend, like we want to see it come all the way to the downside before we now align to the daily time frame, which is more of a bullish trend. You get that now? So that is for that on gold. That's our analysis on gold. We look at that very well. Now on the yen basket, last week we saw yen basket, sold clearly to the downside, and our analysis for the week is a reaction on this last order block. Like we want to see yen basket, buy back up from this order block, which is what today's candle is trying to do. Today's candle is trying to do that, trying to buy to the upside, and we can see why that is happening. This is a fair value gap here correlating with another block. That's why price came all the way to that level, and we expect price to buy back from that level, which is giving us more of a bullish lookout, like we're looking out for a bullish move on the yen basket. And if you check that very well, also on the 4-hour time frame, you can see on the 4-hour time frame, although it's been a bearish move since last week was a clear sell to the downside on the 4-hour time frame. However, we already see price, got into a clear level, which we can see on the daily time frame. So we expect some level of pullback to the upside. Get it? And that's what we are looking out for this week to happen on the chart. And if we come to the 1-hour time frame too, we can see on the 1-hour time frame, for us to confirm that, then we need to see a clear break of market structure, which is clear break of this level here. Although this seems like, yes, it already did something like that because of these two candles here. However, I want to see a very clear one to the upside, and we'll follow it. Now, that is simply telling us that if the yen basket is buying, then the other yen correlated pairs like Euro JPY, GBP JPY, and other SSS JPY are expected to sell to the downside. That is for the yen basket. Now, if you look at it if you look at the GBP JPY now, it hasn't given a very clean, yes, it has broken this. We've seen a clear break, and we marked this last week on Friday. So yes, we marked this last week. Price already broke it to the downside, and we are expecting price to come all the way into this zone so that we can start shorting it to the downside. However, we just see that price actually did not get to this shoulder here, but started reacting somewhere around this level. You can see what price is doing here. Price did not really enter into the shoulder, but when it gets to the support, like the flip zone here, that was where it reacts from, and is selling to the downside. Now, if we go to the lower time frame on the 15 minutes to confirm, okay, what is really going on, if you want to join the sell, then there's still room for price to come all the way to this level. So if you want to short GBP JPY, you just have to be patient and see if price would come to this level, or we see a very clear sweep on the 15-minute time frame. When you want to see an aggressive move to the upside, then the normal boss pattern, we see it print out and we follow it to the downside. So that is on the GBP JPY, and that's the analysis for the yen for today. tomorrow we are going to see what the market will definitely bring out. And just let's a very quick one, if we look at FinVis to see our market forex battery, to check the calendar so that we are aware of the news we have for the week, so that it gives us a clear view of what the week looks like. Like we said, this week will be, you see, bank rates, some bank policy are coming up. Also, we have PMI and USD PMI too. Yes, those are the news that we can see that would inject more liquidity into the market, both for the USD and also for the yen. So we need to be more cautious of that and trade cautiously too. So that is that for the GBP, the yen pairs, and also the precious metal. What are we looking out for them to do? We are looking for the yen pairs to sell for this week. We are looking to short the yen pairs for this week. That implies that the yen basket is expected to buy, and also the gold, we expect it to first rally to the upside. Then we can easily see our clear sell structure to the downside. All right. Any question? Good morning, sir. Can you unmute us, please?
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new week. Great job, everybody. I think we
can't hear him.
Can you hear me, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. If you can hear me, please. Okay, fantastic.
You're working on it, sir.
Thank you for the compliment. They can hear me. Thank you very much for the consistency. Thank you very much, guys. I think one of the things that is starting to happen to all of you that show up every day, you're starting to see how boring trading is. You are starting to see how boring trading is. All of you that show up every day, you're starting to see that trading is not hype. Trading is not load it, load it, load it. Don't play, don't play. That's not trading. All those things around all those things are just marketing gimmicks. Trading is extremely systematic. It's quite boring. If you are looking for excitement, fund a small account and just be gambling away. But if you want to trade in a way that you'll be here today, you'll be here tomorrow, you'll be here next tomorrow, is work. You just come and look at the same thing every day. All right? All that hype and noise is just for marketing, which is good if your focus is marketing at that season. But when it comes to trading, I was about to say stuff. CJ said everything I wanted to say. Lakers said everything I wanted to say, because we're looking at the same things. Now, the only time this thing will get exciting is if we use a bigger than normal lot size. Then the excitement will come. The nervousness will come. The fear will come. Is this trading for me? Hey, am I not doing the wrong? But if you are following it the right way, there really should be no excitement. The excitement comes when you are learning, where they show you something that you didn't know before, that now makes you be like, oh, wow, wow. But in the actual execution, there's no excitement. The only thing that I want to add to this is, looking at the news this morning, there's not much news. There's not much news today on Forex Factory. So I don't see what's going to trigger the markets. But from tomorrow, let's see GBP JPY on the daily time frame. Tomorrow, there is a lot of volatility that is going to come into the market, especially on the yen. Okay? On the yen. Let's look at it on daily time frame. Can you see what happened on the daily time frame? Do you see the left shoulder that was formed? Yes, the Japanese Bank of Japan interest rate. That's why I said there's a lot going to happen tomorrow on the yen pairs, like Lekon has already said. So instead of trying to force trades today, especially if you are trading yen pairs, just focus on XXX USD, XXX USD. But if it's JPY pairs, wait till tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow. Or if you see good entries, enter, move your stop loss to break even, and allow the market to do what it wants to do. So look at this. What are we seeing on the daily since December, middle of December? There's a shoulder there. There's a shoulder that was formed around the 28th or so of November. 28th of November, thereabout. Okay, no, all the way back, not 28th, 21st or so. Exactly. That's a shoulder. That's a shoulder. Then do you see the sweep of liquidity? The grab of liquidity? Then the break of structure all the way to the downside with that fair value gap. Then price went back up and formed a double top. No, you're going too fast. Between December and January. After the fair value gap to the downside that broke all the structure, then there was a clear, exactly, liquidity there. You see that thing, that's a failed schematic because price was supposed to just tap into it and then come all the way down, but it did not. Now, this is what I'm thinking. That price was supposed to start falling from that 184.00 level, but because they knew that everybody is waiting for it to sell, especially if you see the shoulder that was formed in September, they now said, let's push it up another 400 pips and wipe out all the stop losses. This is why when you trade without stop loss, let's push it up because that was a clear schematic. Around September, there was a shoulder. Around November, December, there was a sweep with a break of structure with a fair value gap. So what I think is they took it all the way up to frustrate everybody's stop loss. Because no matter what, if you have 400 pips move on GBP JPY, even if you're using 0.01, by now, you'll be sweating. So what I think will happen tomorrow is there will be a grab to the upside for further grab of liquidity. Then there will be a strategic move to the downside to that IOFED. That IOFED is an IOFED because there's a fair value gap on the left and there's a fair value gap on the right. So it's going to come to 184.50 levels. That's what I'm waiting for tomorrow. I hope it doesn't happen when someone is asleep because it will pain me. But whether it happens or not, I'm watching out for that trade on GBP JPY because I'm seeing that there was manipulation. How many of you are understanding what I just said or you don't understand it? If you understand what I just said, please type, I understand the manipulation. If you don't understand what I just said, say, explain it again. But the guys on the floor, you understand what I'm talking about? That there was a box pattern on the daily. The box pattern failed, went all the way up 400 pips to wipe out everybody's stop. So I'm thinking tomorrow, they are coming back like 200, 300 pips to the downside. So that's what I'm looking to see that tomorrow, to take the trade. If I catch the move, I'm expecting some nice 120, 150, 200 pips minimum. Now, all of you that are saying explain again, I hope you understand the box pattern that we've been looking at, focusing on. Where I said in September, all the way to November, there was a sweep. The shoulder was formed. There's a shoulder in September. There's a shoulder in November. That's the first shoulder. Then there's another shoulder up, which is a higher high. Then there's a grab of liquidity, which now came and broke structure, broke market structure all the way to the downside, broke so many daily lows, and it formed a fair value gap as it was breaking. Then price went back up and formed a double top, meaning it's engineering or creating liquidity. Then price tapped into the fair value gap. What was it supposed to do after that? What was it supposed to do after that when it grabbed the liquidity at the fair value gap? type if you know what it's supposed to exactly. It's supposed to sell. More so because there are two serious fair value gaps that were formed in January on the downside. So it's supposed to grab that liquidity, but it did not. It now started going all the way to the top. What I think is that's to frustrate all the sellers by moving 400 pips. And I use that as an example to say you must always use stop loss. Where it's obvious, GBBJPY has done this so many times in my trading career, I cannot count. You say it will just move 50 pips, it will move 400 pips and wipe your account. So I'm now saying now that it has grabbed that liquidity, right? There's a fair value gap formed 3-4 days ago. There's another fair value gap to the downside, which is now, for those of you who do institutional trading concepts, is now an IOFED. And there's another fair value gap at the downside. Tomorrow's BOJ decision must close at least one or two of those fair value gaps. So I'm looking to sell tomorrow. All right. If Japan Central Bank maintains negative interest rates and yield curve policy tomorrow, will the divergence in interest rates not support a continued bullish GBBJPY? Yes, it will. Because if you have negative interest rates, it will. However, don't forget that this year, ECB is looking to cut rates. People are saying also that the Federal Reserve will cut rates. If the other pairs are cutting rates, some people who have been bullish on those other pairs that have been making money when the rate was high, if they start cutting your rates, what are you going to do? So there's a pair that has been in negative rates since that you're already used to. Then you had a pair you had a currency that has been giving you interest. Then they now cut the interest rate, and that other currency is cheap. You will move into that cheap currency briefly, especially since there are fair value gaps. So mind you, I'm not talking about, this is not a position play, this is not a swing play. This is a liquidity concept play, that there are fair value gaps, they have grabbed external liquidity. If they grab external liquidity, if they grab all the buys, they should come down and grab the sells too. Does this make sense, Moyo? Sorry. Then when they grab it down 300, 200, 300, 400 pips, then the fundamentals can now come back again. This is how I view it, okay? But that's a great question. That's a great question. So that's what I'm looking to see tomorrow. All eyes on Asia, all eyes on GBP/JPY. And of course, if you now add our value flow models, we have the IMF SDR, we have the yen bond inflation, we have the yen flow on the 1 hour. We know what's going on. CHF/JPY has even given us a pointer. Let's check CHF/JPY so I can hand it over back to you guys. CHF/JPY on the daily. CHF/JPY has given us a pointer. For those of you who understand safe haven plays, you see what I mean by that. So our value flow models will now lend support CHF/JPY on the daily. On the daily. Is this helping anybody understanding how to frame your bias? Okay. So do you see CHF/JPY? Do you see the liquidity that has also been formed on CHF/JPY, the diagonal liquidity in the last 10, 12 days? You see those long wicks, the liquidity down on exactly, leading to that fair value gap. So there's liquidity at the fair value gap, and there are 3 lows there. And then there's a shoulder being formed. Sorry, there's a shoulder that's already been formed that has grabbed liquidity. All right, so this is what I'm looking at tentatively. Now, if the news comes out and it blows to the upside, I'm not touching JPY. If it blows to the upside, I'm not touching JPY because the liquidity gaps that have been formed, that means fundamentals are now fighting liquidity concepts. I'm not going to be in the middle of that. I'll just move from GBP JPY and look at GBP USD and trade accordingly. All right? Any question for me before I hand it over to the guys on the floor? All right, no question. Thank you for your time. Over to you, Lekon. Thanks, guys. Abby, how now?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. All right, guys, we have our courses available. We have the ATM cash flow available here for 100,000 naira, and it's going to start on Wednesday. So if you are going to do that, if you are going to enroll for that, make sure you do that between today and before 3 p.m. tomorrow, so that we can onboard you and give you all the necessary things you need to start the training starting on Wednesday. Make sure you enroll. That's our ATM cash flow training. Also, we have the FS Bootcamp going for 125,000 naira. Very important. If you want to start out in trading currency pairs, you truly need that. And we have our value flow models too, like you ad boss said now. You really need it to give you in-depth and deep insight to whatsoever pair you are trading. We have value flow model for dollar, for GBP, for yen, for gold, and other precious metal. For the other bonds too, if you need them, we have them all available. You can reach out to us. It's just for 150,000 naira. And we have our ATM Plus. We just want to start out trading the synthetic. That one is going for 30,000 naira. And we also have the Sunshine Scalping Plus. That is for 60,000 naira. And if you have a prop account and you want us to help you to pass your prop account and also trade it for you with our EA, the service is also available. You can reach out to us on our social media page, be it Instagram, and also our WhatsApp contact is also there on the chat box. You are going to see it now. So we are going to help you pass your prop account and also trade it with our EA. It's going to grow steadily. Get the point now? And that one is going, when you reach out to us, we're going to tell you the price. And we are very specific with the size of the account we are passing, which is a $100,000 account. And we have specific prop firms we are using. She's Next Step Funded, Nova, Otana FS, and Nova MS Solution. So those are the prop firm we are using. So make sure you reach out to us on WhatsApp and we are going to follow you up and help you to set it up. Like we said, we only have just 5 slots for those prop firms. So last week, a lot of people already enroll and they are already paying. They already start, their account is already going on good and fine. So if you also want to join the few slots remaining, reach out to us as quick as possible so that we can help you with that. Thank you so much. This will be the end of today's TDA. See you tomorrow morning. 8:30 is the time. Make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy.